time is here. First and awesome. I'm Nathan Zagura from thefantasyconsultant.com, joined at this time by my guest, former WWE superstar, as we just heard, fired on Monday Night Raw, The Miz. Miz, now that you're fired from the WWE, what are you going to do? What is next for you?
Why do you say it like that, now that you're fired? What, do you think you're Vince McMahon or something? Come on.
That would be you're fired.
It's funny, you know, people have been asking me, Miz, what are you going to do now that you're fired from the WWE? Let's think about it. Let's not think about me, though. Let's think about what's going to happen to WWE now that I'm no longer a WWE superstar. Let's think about that. I mean, if you think about it, when I was the WWE champion, the ratings were the highest they've ever been. The highest they've ever been in the past year. Then when I was at WrestleMania 27, and I was in the main event and retained my WWE championship, it had more pay-per-view buys, 1 million, over 1 million pay-per-view buys.
Second biggest in history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, exactly. Second biggest in history. What is WWE going to do? Look at my schedule, Nathan. Look at it. Look at it. Did you see my September schedule? How many days off do you see?
I don't see many.
You don't see many. You see 3 days off. That's 3 days off that I've had. WWE has me doing everything, or had me doing everything. All the media, all the radio outlets, all the TV shows, all the late night talk programs. Anything that WWE needed, I was their go-to guy. Now what's going to happen? Let's talk about, as a matter of fact, let's talk about being the go-to guy. Last Sunday at Night of Champions, when I had a match, after that entire show, I left there around midnight, right? Drove all the way to Cleveland. Did a 6 a.m., had to get up at 5 a.m. to do a 6 a.m. media day where I did media all day. I went to an elementary school to talk to 400 students about not being a bully, being a star. And I spoke to all those children. My family was in attendance in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. My mother and my father were in the front row cheering me on. Now, not only did I lose, not only did I get fired, but I got thrown out of the building by Triple H. But here's my question to you. Here's my question to everybody. What's going to happen now with Triple H? How's Triple H been doing as the COO? Let's talk about that, Nathan. How do you feel as a fan?
Well, first of all, I could go on and on about what Triple H is doing as a CEO. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Triple H take over the WWE from Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon was thinking of doing something crazy like firing John Cena, and Triple H comes in and turns around and fires not one, but two of the hottest stars in the company, and in my opinion, the biggest star in the company, the brightest star in the company, the one who's on all the late-night talk shows, the one who went into the main event of WrestleMania and beat the so-called face of the WWE, John Cena, not once but twice. Second highest grossing WrestleMania in the history of WrestleMania, and he comes in and he just throws you out of the building. Who's he gonna answer to? And what kind of judgment is that?
Exactly. What kind of judgment has he been doing this entire time since he's been COO? Since he's been COO, there's been two WWE champions at the same time, CM Punk and John Cena. Then Roberto Del Rio comes in and cashes Money in the Bank. Nothing has been good since WWE has had Triple H as the COO. As in, it's been chaos, it's been mayhem. Now he throws the two biggest and brightest stars out on a limb. And then let's talk about why we were thrown out. We came back and we apologized. We were sincere. We said we are sorry that we beat up a referee. We apologized. Did we not look sorry when we were there on Monday Night Raw?
I felt the sincerity. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Then he said he accepted our apology and charged us $250,000 as a fine. $250,000. I think that's a little steep in my mind, in anybody's mind, in America's mind, especially in this economy. But at least now I don't have to pay the $250 fine. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
That's what I was going to say.
He just lost out on $500,000 to his company. So that's going to be one of the stupidest things a COO could possibly have done.
All he's doing is losing money for that company right now. Loses $500,000, as you pointed out. Now, fortunately for you, had to pay that fine. When you're a champion, when you're a star, the level of somebody like The Miz, listen, for a lot of people out there, that could be a lifetime of earnings. For you, that's a drop in the bucket. That's what happens when you main event the second highest grossing WrestleMania in history.
Exactly. But let's also talk about like, okay, so we beat up a referee. Now let's take a look at Monday Night Raw. Mark Henry comes out, the world's strongest man, and throws Jerry the King Lawler, a commentator, not a WWE superstar, a WWE legend, a commentator, through a table. Did he get a smack on the hand? Did he get a fine? So we're basically saying our referees are more important than a WWE legend.
Not to mention
that I apologized. I said sorry.
You did apologize, and the referee was acting out of control in that match at Night Champions, making error after error against you guys. At some point, somebody has to step in and be the voice of reason. You guys tried to do that. Now you're punished. Well, I'll tell you what. People are upset about it. I know I'm upset about it. And I think that everybody listening right now certainly would be upset about it. Triple H thinks he can just go around and do whatever he wants, even though he says he's doing it in the interest of the business and what's best for the company. Clearly, anybody who fires the biggest star in the company is not doing what's best for business. Sounds like to me it could be something personal and something that should be looked into.
I agree. As a matter of fact, you know it's funny, and you were asking me, well, what are you going to do about this WWE Fantasy Football League that you're in? And the thing is, why wouldn't I just win?
You won last year.
I won last year, but imagine this. Imagine me being fired, no longer an employee with the WWE, nothing to do with WWE, and then I beat all the WWE superstars in the WWE Fantasy League. And not only that, but then they can't get an interview, they can't get photos, they can't get anything for that WWE magazine. So, WWE magazine, this one's for you. I'm going to take it out on you.
Yes, you are going to take it out on them because you're 2-0 in that. We will get to that team in just a second. But also now, what the WWE doesn't realize is that your star is on the rise. People have been coming to you. All of a sudden, boom, The Miz, you're now a host. You have your own show on Sirius. There's talk already in the Sirius world. Howard Stern has his own channel. Chris Mad Dog Russo has his own channel. Why not the Miz channel?
I agree. Why not we have a Sirius XM Miz channel? Why not? I think it would be the best channel on this program. But here's the thing, though. Now that my schedule has opened up, I've been receiving meetings after meetings. My manager was like, "Oh my God, you're available now." Thank God, because I've had to turn down so many movie offers, so many hosting offers, so many TV offers because your schedule is so jam-packed with WWE stuff. Now that it's clear, you are wide open for pilot season. I know USA is going to definitely want to put you on and on all their shows because anytime a WWE superstar, or even a former WWE superstar, is on one of those shows, the ratings are skyrocketed. Look at Edge. Edge is no longer a WWE superstar, but he's on Haven, and every time he's on Haven on Sci-Fi, the ratings goes through the roof. So you don't think USA execs are looking at that going, "Oh my God, we can put this guy as a regular on one of our top shows on Sci-Fi." You don't think the heads are going, "Okay, we got to scramble, we got to figure out something to do for the Miz." They want me to host, they want me to do everything, so I'm ready for it. Game on, let's do it. I promote more than anybody. With WWE, I always said, put me on everything and anything. I don't care if it's 5 o'clock in the morning, if I have to wake up earlier, if it's the day of a Monday Night Raw. I didn't care. But now I'm free. I'm done. Screw WWE. I'm going whatever I need to do it.
That's right. And listen, like I said, your star is on the rise. The schedule is open. Look at your life, Miz. You go and you become the biggest reality star in history on The Real World. Then you say, you know what? I'm going to wrestling. That's been a dream of mine. Boom. Right to the top. The most must-see WWE champion in history. Main evented WrestleMania 27 against John Cena with The Rock, Atlanta, Georgia. Second most pay-per-view buys in the history of WrestleMania. Think about that, folks. You can name Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Hulk Hogan. Were they in the biggest events of all time? Maybe once. But number 2, The Miz, John Cena, this year, WrestleMania 27. The world is your oyster. Sirius now. They're falling over. People are so excited. You're a part of First and Awesome every Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. here on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. And I'll tell you what, that's the tip of the iceberg for you. And I am excited to be able to be a part of this because I'll tell you what, brother, you're going places, and I don't mind riding those coattails.
Game on.
Game on indeed. Well, speaking of somebody at Sirius who I'm sure now that he knows that you're available and you're ready to take over radio just like you took over reality TV and wrestling, Scotty Farrell, he talked a lot of junk on this very show last week about how he was going to take it to you and how he liked his wide receivers and, oh, your team is, what did you score in week 1?